Hello everyone, welcome to the course Deploying DLT Pipelines with Prefect. My name is Shreyas and I'll be the instructor for this course. Before we start this course, there are certain prerequisites. You need to set up your local environment and configure your GCP account to use BigQuery. If you haven't already done this by now, please watch the introduction video by Ashish who will show you how to do the same. He will also show you how to execute your DLT pipeline on your local machine. And lastly, you also need to have a GitHub account with your personal access token enabled. Now, let's get started. Let's take a look at what we will learn in this course. Firstly, we'll go through what Prefect is and the setup needed to run it. Then we'll deploy the DLT pipeline on your local machine as well as remotely using Prefect Cloud. Then we'll look at concepts such as incremental loading, backfilling, and parallelizing your DLT pipelines. And lastly, we'll look at monitoring features offered by Prefect. So what is Prefect? Prefect is an open source modern workflow orchestrator and an observability platform that helps you automate and orchestrate data pipelines. It can turn your Python code into production grade data pipelines and can run anywhere Python runs. It helps users observe, maintain, and scale their data workflows efficiently. There are many orchestrators in the industry, but what are the features that make Prefect special? Firstly, it's Pythonic. You can write your data workflows, your infrastructure, and deployment code all in Python. You do not need to use any domain-specific language or custom syntaxes. And since it's Pythonic, you can use your favorite libraries and features. Next, Prefect offers built-in state and recovery. With its robust state management, you can track your flows and task states across workflow. You can easily resume interrupted runs and cache heavy computations to save time and resources. Prefect offers flexible deployment. You can develop your data workflows locally and then deploy it anywhere Python runs. It could be your local machine, Kubernetes, on a cloud server, or serverless using Prefect Cloud. You can write your infrastructure and deployment configurations in Python with minimal setup. Prefect also allows you to switch between different environments very easily. Coming to event-driven execution, Prefect allows you to trigger workflows based on scheduling, API calls, or external events. You can also pause for human approvals during a flow run. Prefect also allows you to chain multiple workflows together using conditions or custom logic, which makes it very easy to build complex data workflows. Now coming to scalability, Prefect has many features that lets you scale your workflows. You can dynamically create tasks based on runtime data or branch flows based on conditional logic. You can easily scale your workflow during execution based on input size data, which lets you build scalable workflows with no overhead. One of the best features of Prefect is its modern user interface. It lets you monitor, log, and track states of both flows and tasks in real time. It also auto-generates dependency graphs and DAGs with zero setup. And lastly, Prefect is CI/CD friendly. You can seamlessly integrate your Prefect code into existing CI/CD pipelines for automated testing and deployment. Now, let's take a look at Prefect's foundation. At its core, Prefect is built on two main concepts, flows and tasks. Flows are the orchestration layer. You can think of it as a project manager. It specifies what work should be done and when it should be done. Tasks are the execution layer. It's the building block of a workflow and they represent the smallest units of work. You can think of it as a Python function which does something useful, like fetch data or transform data. As you can see in the code example, a flow is a Python function defined using a flow decorator. A task is a Python function defined using a task decorator. But you might be wondering how a Prefect script is different from a Python script. Unlike a regular Python script where function call runs one after the other, Prefect treats flows and tasks as tracked stateful entities. This means it gives you observability, scheduling, retries, timeout, and caching all out of the box. Everything else in Prefect is built on this foundation. Let's look at some of Flow's capabilities. It can track execution state. The graph above me represents a single invocation of a flow run. Each flow run has its own state lifecycle. You can use type hints to validate inputs to your flow function. Flow also has built-in retries and timeouts which you can configure using various parameters. And lastly, flows can be packaged, scheduled, and run remotely with minimal effort. Let's take a look at some of task capabilities. Similarly to flows, it tracks execution state. The graph above me represents a single invocation of a task run, and each task run has its own state lifecycle. It also has auto-dependency resolution. Each task waits for its upstream result automatically. Similarly to flows, task has built-in retries, timeout, and caching to skip recomputation to save time and resources. And lastly, Prefect offers different methods to run tasks concurrently to optimize your data workflows. And that's it for this section. In the next section, we will see how to install Prefect, schedule and deploy the DLT pipeline locally. Stay tuned.